Hi everyone, welcome to an episode of Welcome to Rum. In our last episode, Jason and I, no, it wasn't our last episode.
How about try this one, Ray? A few weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Ray, I shouldn't have given you samples before this, right? Welcome to another episode of Welcome to Rum. It's myself, Jason Craig, my buddy Ray Weiland, and today we have brought our friend Sean Heath all the way from Gig Harbor, Washington.
Hi.
No, you had to come over a bridge to get here.
I know, and a giant bridge it is.
So, Sean, welcome to Rum. We have an extra special treat. A few weeks ago, we did a sampling of El Dorado rums with our friend Stuart Tarand, and we tried the 5-year El Dorado, the 12-year El Dorado, and the 15-year El Dorado.
Yeah.
And all of the El Dorados are fantastic. The 5 years, it's mixing. It's a stalwart mixer there.
Right.
Good soldier rum.
Yeah.
The 12-year is delicious, robust. The 15 is not quite as flavorful, but very smooth. And the 12 and the 15 are absolutely two of my favorite sippers. So after that happened, Ray, what happened next?
Well, I got an email. I actually got an email from a representative from El Dorado Rum. Her name was Jody. And she's like, "Hey, I saw your episode on our El Dorado rums, and I just want to say thank you. And if you'd like, we'd like to send you a bottle of our 151 rum." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So they sent it to me. This is it here, and it's Diamond Reserve. And at first I'm like, "Well, this doesn't say El Dorado. Well, what's the story with this?" So is Diamond like one of their brands, or?
So it's Demerara Distillers Limited, which is the only distillery in Guyana now. It's also referred to as the Diamond Distillery.
Yeah.
So El Dorado is kind of their flagship, but Diamond is, I believe, more of their mixing rums, which 151 is not a sipping rum. It's definitely a mixing rum.
Yeah, but for sake of science, we're gonna try the rum straight, just to get a taste of it.
Right.
And then Jason's gonna make us two cocktails. The first one's gonna be a swizzle.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 151 swizzle, so it's very rum forward.
In fact, that should be the only rum that's in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do more of a classic cocktail. Which one?
Yeah, I found I was trying to find one that didn't. Usually 151 is mixed with one or two other rums. Yeah. And I didn't want to leaven it so much. I wanted to really be able to taste this. So I found I think it's a 1937 Don Beach recipe, the Cobra's Fang.
Oh, good.
So we're going to do a Cobra's Fang.
I haven't had one of those in a long time, so cool.
But hey, before we drink these, so Sean, before you got into tiki or craft cocktails, what was your experience with 151 rum?
The core 151 rums before I got into tiki would have been in the Bacardi 151s.
Yeah.
I have that army experience of we're going to take some spiced rums or Bacardi rums and we're going to add Sprite or Coke to them, and that's a cocktail right there.
Pretty much Coleman Cooler Punch.
Yeah.
Back in my early bar days in deep northwest Houston, there was an acquaintance of mine, and that guy coincidentally went into the Army, who he thought he'd game the system. He would ask for a Bacardi 151 in Coke, because he figured out that for the amount of bang pow he got out of it, it was worth it for the upcharge for the 151. So, one cocktail was worth at least two.
Yeah.
Because, 151, you're talking about the proof system. So your standard rums are give or take 40%, 45% rum. Well, you double that, you got 80 proof or 90 proof. 151, it's not quite double, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more oomph on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this tastes, because I've had lemon hard, and I've had Hamilton.
Well, I grew fond of lemon heart when I first started, getting into tiki drinks and making tiki drinks, and then finding out that over the years the recipe has changed, and it's maybe not as flavorful as it once was compared to the earlier versions of it, and that's been held up in seminars and articles that I've read since. So I'd be curious to try an older lemon heart to see what it tasted like in comparison, but I know other 151s have been formulated to try and give you a better idea of what that Lemon Heart 151 might have been like that Don Beach was using in the 1930s, 1940s, up through the 60s.
Yeah, well, let's try this.
Okay,
absolutely.
I haven't tried this yet, because I wanted to try it wait and save for the video. But you messed around with this a little bit, so you already kind of know what it is. So
yeah, when you take a little sniff of it, I get a strong scent of dried fruits.
Is that what that is?
And for me, at least.
So let's try it. It's like a laser beam of flavor.
Yeah, it's super flavorful, but it's way smoother than I expected. Because I've normally got I normally have the Hamilton 151 on hand, and I keep Lemon Heart 151 around.
I was expecting it to be like harsh, like really, really harsh. Like how, wow, this is really smooth.
It hits.
For a 151.
Well, it's a Demerara rum, so is this sweetened at all?
I honestly don't know if there's any additional in it. I guess we should probably do a ceremonial reading of the bottle there, see if there's any info on it, huh? On the front, we have Diamond Reserve 151 Demerara, richly blended, steeped in tradition, distilled in the Demerara tradition, Demerara Distillers Limited, Guyana. So what it's saying is this 151 Demerara rum is a blend of rums aged 1 to 2 years from three of our famous heritage stills, the French Saval still, the EHP wooden coffee still, and the Port Morant double wooden pot still. With aromas of dried fruits, butterscotch, soft mellow spices, and a hint of cigar, this rum is bold and flavorful. So it doesn't mention any additions to it, so we'd have to do a little research online. But to the best of my knowledge, Guyana rum is normally not dosed with additional things.
Here, I want to read that. Let me see this.
Butterscotch is the flavor that I was tasting right away off of it.
I get kind of a dried raisin and a little bit of a tobacco, or what they say, cigar.
Yeah, I might need just a little bit more here.
A little bit more research here.
It's important to be thorough when you're tasting rums.
We'll just move this over to this side just in case. So yeah, for 151 that goes down
already.
1 to 2 years. That's it on the aging.
1 to 2 years of aging. So it's a very dark color for small aging, which tells me it's either not filtered or I don't know. I don't know.
The word that comes to my mind is controlled. Like it's just like here's the flavor and here it is. And there's not much of a burn.
No, it's very bold and flavorful. Now, the other night we were up at the Devil's Reef in Tacoma, right down the road from here, depending on how you look at it. And I did try a 151 swizzle made with it because Jason Alexander was able to get a hold of a bottle.
Yeah.
And also tried a daiquiri, and both were delicious. So yeah, this is a 151 you can make a tasty daiquiri with because it's not going to hurt as much drinking it.
Well, I'll tell you
and
what.
It's very flavorful.
I'm curious now. So you're going to make us a 151 swizzle.
Yeah, we're going to do a 151 swizzle. I'll make a double, then I'll split it 3 ways so we don't get quite so tagged.
All right, well, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, let's make it happen.
Cool. You want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canepa did the design, and they're screen printed in America.
We are back. Welcome to Rum. This is the Diamond 151 Demerara. I mixed it up in a 151 swizzle, which is a traditional Don the Beachcomber recipe.
Yeah.
In order to make this, I went with the traditional as best I could come up with, comparing between Minimalist Tiki, the Matt Beatrick, or Cocktail Wonk book, and, of course, the inimitable Beach Bum Berries remixed. The 151 swizzle, officially half-ounce fresh lime juice, half-ounce sugar syrup, 1.5 ounces 151 Demerara, dash of Angostura bitters, 6 drops of Pernod, 8 ounces of crushed ice, freshly ground nutmeg, everything except the nutmeg in a blender. Blend at high speed for about 5 seconds. Pour unstrained. Well, we're not doing the metal cup and all that because what I tend to do is when we're doing this, I'll make a double and then I'll split it 3 ways so we don't get too tanked.
Important to just get tanked enough, right?
So I gave it just a little splash of Angostura bitters on top after I'd already mixed it in there. A little bit of nutmeg, and I put a cinnamon stick in there just for fun.
Smells like Holly Paley.
So I would take a little sip off it and then give it a little stir with your straw or your cinnamon stick after you take a sip.
Oh my goodness. This makes such great cocktails.
Yeah. So yeah, the magic of the swizzle is that as you drink it, if you drink it slowly, as it dilutes, the flavors get more interesting and more complex. So, in a perfect world, you've got that swizzle that you can go like this with, and it's got the little forks at the bottom.
I've had my share of 151 swizzles, and this is probably the smoothest one I've ever had, really. I mean, if I wouldn't even know that this is an overproof.
So between these 3 glasses, we've got at least 3 ounces of the Diamond 151.
What do you think, Sean?
There's a lot of overproof rums where it feels like the alcohol, just the pure alcohol of it overwhelms the rum.
Yeah.
The shot was really, really good. This as a swizzle is amazing. You were saying I wouldn't know this is overproof when I'm having it. It's so tasty that all the other flavors are allowed to come through.
Yeah, Jason, this is a great job, man.
Glad you're enjoying it.
This could be a dangerous cocktail.
Yeah, this one will sneak up on you because that the shot by itself was way smoother than I would have expected because I hadn't had it straight until today. I'd had it in mixed drinks on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, usually how this goes, it's usually like a mound of ice. And the idea is that the ice will slowly melt and mix with the alcohol.
Right.
And the reason why you need to do that because it's so strong. If you try to drink it before it dilutes at all. But this is it's fine.
Yeah.
I can't get over how smooth this rum is.
In fact, just trying to let it dilute is a bit of a challenge because it tastes damn good.
It's gone before you know it.
So when did you get into Tiki, Sean?
I got more into Tiki or beyond just wearing like Hawaiian shirts or Aloha shirts.
Yeah.
Probably about 2 years after the cabana opened. Had a friend who was there on the day it opened, visited it once, and then suddenly realized rum drinks are amazing.
Yes, they are.
The
Well, it's just
complexity,
the layers of flavor.
right? The complexity that goes into a really good rum drink is you don't think about it when you're first learning about alcohol, and all you get is a little bit of rum and a mixer,
Yeah.
and it could be a little bit of whiskey in a mixer or a little bit of vodka in a mixer, and they're all basically the same drink.
Yeah.
The Tiki drinks and the world that they present, just it feels like what they're giving you is someone's art that you then get to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that. So
Well, also keep in mind if you got used to drinking going to sports bars or military bars.
military bars.
Because you served Army, I served Navy, so we're familiar with military drinking culture.
So that was a great answer.
Yeah.
But can you do it again now, but do it with a little bit more enthusiasm?
Anyway, if you get used to going to your standard bars, average bars, unless they're free pouring and they're over pouring, about 1.5 ounces of liquor. Tiki drinks, typically minimum 2 ounces, sometimes as much as 4 ounces of liquor in a
Yes.
single drink.
Yes.
And one of those ounces, or at least 1/2 ounce, is quite often an overproof.
That is the magic of a Tiki drink, though. That is the magic of a drink. For example, like a 34 zombie. If a 34 zombie is well made, you drink the drink, and you don't realize that you're drinking 4 ounces of rum.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But if it's made wrong, then it's like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? But that is the magic of a great, well-crafted Tiki cocktail. If it's made right, you don't even like for example, this drink here, made right, which it's made correctly.
It's got balance.
You wouldn't
it's
know
smooth,
you wouldn't
it's
know that
complexity.
the only rum that's in here is 151 proof rum.
Right.
Right. And
That mixed with crushed ice, a little bit of Angostura bitters, lime juice, and Pernod.
Yeah.
Tiny drops of Pernod.
I'm glad you hit it. I'm glad you did it with the Pernod. A word out there to all my viewers out there. Here's a hint from Tiki with Ray. If there's a cocktail that calls for Pernod or absinthe, if you can taste the Pernod or the absinthe in the cocktail, you failed.
Except for maybe a Dr. Funk.
Because it's supposed to just be a presence. It shouldn't overtake the cocktail. If you drink a drink and all you're tasting is the Pernod, you failed. I'm just saying. Because I've had my share of 34 zombies, and every time I ever had zombies, like, absinthe! Or it's like, oh, Pernod. And I realized that I had a good once I had a good zombie, I'm like, oh, it's there, but you don't taste it.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen, you go ahead and enjoy your 151 swizzles. I'm going to see about making us some Cobra's fangs. Ray, you want to talk us in, or do you want?
Aloha. Welcome back. That's my nod out to Tiki Triangle out there. If you ever watch Tiki Triangle's videos, he always starts every episode with Aloha, welcome back. And I think it's fitting to continue on with this.
All
So
right,
hey Justin, how's it going?
So we're back to do a Cobra's Fang, which I was looking for a cocktail that used the 151 and did not use additional rums in it. So going into Matt Petrick or Cocktail Wonk's Minimalist Tiki, the Cobra's Fang is a dash of Angostura bitters, 6 drops of absinthe or Pernod, half an ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of orange juice, half an ounce of passion fruit syrup, and I use the BG Reynolds. It's a little on the sweet side, but it's got a great flavor to it.
I like that though.
Yeah, and quarter ounce of falernum. I used the Taylor's Velvet Falernum, so I went a little bit heavy on it because it's got a pretty mild flavor to it.
It is, yeah, definitely.
And an ounce and a half of overproof Demerara rum, which Diamond Distillers provided that.
Excellent. So this is a Donna Beachcomber drink?
Yes.
Excellent. So we're kicking it old school.
Yes, we are.
All right. So thanks for making this for us, Jason.
Oh, you're very
Let's
welcome.
try this. Oh, man, the shameful Tiki room.
Someday
I'll make it back up to Canada.
So I believe this is the first time I've actually made a Cobra's Fang at home.
So let's try this thing.
I have an idle glass.
Yeah, it's our buddy Rob Kramer. That's his home bar. He's
Okay.
a graphic artist out of the Portland area.
This is beautiful glass too.
The 151's the only rum in it?
Yeah. And there's some falernum, which is a liqueur level alcohol.
God damn.
But it's very tropical, very mild. You get a little bit of bite on there. I get a little bit of the dried fruit flavor coming through.
The dried flute flavor?
Dried fruit flavor.
So I'm not getting much bite, but definitely it's not in there. There's none in it, but it almost is like you have a dried apricot coming through.
Yeah,
this a little bit.
I definitely get dried apricot. I think that's the passion fruit combining with the fruit flavors that are already in the Demerara 150 or the Diamond Reserve 151.
I've had Cobra Fangs before, and I think this is the best one I've ever had. I can't believe how smooth it is. And because normally this drink is pretty harsh.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of it usually, and this is great.
fruity but
Again,
solid.
I wouldn't, if you were to tell me that there was, the only rum in this was a 151 proof rum, I wouldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great job.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this, not because they gave it to us for free, but I will say this, that like, out of all the 151 rums that I've had, and having cocktails, I think this is my favorite.
It's surprisingly
And
smooth and flavorful.
I'm not just saying that because because they gave it to us, but I'm serious.
I agree.
This is great. This is a great rum.
I do.
Thank you, Jody.
I do think that it should be in most bars. This is across the board. Everything we did, from the initial taste of it straight to the swizzle to the Cobra's Fang. It's a great rum.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
I'm going to need to make sure that I stock the Diamond 151 at home. Because I like the flavor components it adds. It's smooth. It doesn't seem to have as much burn as I expect off a 151.
No, it's incredible.
So I got to say, a lot of times in overproof drinks, I'll use the OFTD, which is technically like a 138 because it's 69%.
I think I might like this better now.
I know it goes down smoother.
Yes, it does. It definitely does.
I think I would have to have both, but definitely this is on the needs to be in the bar.
But along with the El Dorado 12, which I'll get the 15 now and again, but I'll definitely keep the El Dorado 12 around for when I want just some good Guyana rum.
Yeah, I hear that. Well,
And I also love the fact that they use their historic stills. Because in the previous episodes we talked about the various stills, how at one point there were over 300 different stills around the Demerara River Basin area in Guyana, and that eventually it got down to just one major distillery, but they took those historic stills, many of them made of the extra hard wood, rather than metal, because the metal would corrode in the tropical atmosphere down there. But the fact that those historic stills contribute to this, I think gives it a lot of character.
yeah. Well, everyone, if you're watching this video, I think it's safe to say that Diamond 151 is a hit.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah.
Do you have any words of wisdom for us there, Sean? Any life
Words of
stories?
wisdom.
In the Navy, we used to call these sea stories. I don't know what they call. In the Army, they just call them land stories.
Sure. Here's what I gotta say. You can start out your life trying and enjoying drinks that seem very simple. Drinks that are one or two ingredients. But if you're not afraid, you need to get into some of the more complex stuff. The flavors that change, the way the alcohol interacts, can change the way you think about what you're drinking and how you're socializing with people.
He was just joking around. You didn't have to answer that question on
Why not?
But it's very much appreciated. Yeah. Cobra's fangs.
Cobra's fangs. Dude, next time we're at the Devil's Reef. Can I have a round of Cobra's fangs?
Well, it is more than one Cobra's fang.
Cobra fang eye.
Can you imagine a cobra's coming out, you realize, it's a one fang cobra, no problems there.